Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure, and what you're looking at is my free log splitter. I was on my way to go to Sam's Club this morning, and I was driving through my neighborhood, quite honestly, and this was sitting on the side of the road with a free sign on it. And you know, Harvey loves all kinds of free stuff. Turns out the problem with it is it's missing this hose here, or metal tubing, whatever you would like to call it. So, and you know, problem with that is this American, or is this some kind of China metric size? So while I was out, I stopped by and we saw our friends at Tractor Supply, and for $8 they sell these things, and for another 16 bucks each you can actually buy an 18-inch hose. Wouldn't mind if it was a little shorter than that, but the shortest they sell is 18 inches, so they're 16 bucks each. I didn't buy those because I wasn't positive that this was the right size, so here we are. And I'm thinking if I could kind of install this here, right, and perhaps the second one there, though I'm not quite sure the nuts will squeak by. It looks like they're a little too tight. Maybe this line won't leak. But anyway, so for $8 plus another $15 for the hose, looks like I might be able to fix this, make that 16. So for 25 bucks, I'll have myself a little log splitter. Now, I've been wanting to get one of these. There was a guy who I almost bought one at the Rhinebeck car show. He wanted 50 bucks for it. But quite honestly, and that was a few years ago, but quite honestly, the truck was full and I really didn't have 50 bucks, so I passed on the deal, and I've regretted it ever since. So I'm really hoping I can bring this thing back to life. I mean, if worse comes to worse, I could always bring this fitting back. I think I'd be stuck with the hose though once I run fluid through it. The tires are not pneumatic. They're, we used to call these hard rubber back in the day. So even if the pump is no good, those tires could be useful, because I drove by another neighbor's house and they had this dolly with a free sign on it. Obviously the tires are dead on it, but this one is actually a nice dolly. It's, you know, manufactured by Milwaukee Truck Division, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Gleason Industrial Products. So this is actually a nice dolly. It's not, you know, Harbor Freight. So if worse comes to worse and I don't use it, or you know what, these flat tires, I can probably roll, for as much as I'm going to move this thing around, quite honestly, I could probably roll it around on the flat tires. Now, I was looking at this thing and I was just thinking to myself, boy, if I can put some kind of attachment on here that has a little bit of an angle to it, and slide something over this thing that has a little bit of an angle to it, so as they close up I get kind of a clamshell. I imagine I should be able to pop the bead on all-terrain vehicle tires with this thing. Now, I'm not thinking there's a lot of miles on it. I haven't plugged it in and tried it, but there's virtually no wear here and no wear here, which means one of two things: it's a horrible piece of junk and it quit right right in the beginning. Right, it didn't even split two pieces. Wow, that's even sharp. It didn't split much wood before it broke. Now, the way this thing works is the piston comes out And as it does, it pulls on these bars, and there's a bar on each side, and as it pulls on these bars, it moves this forward. I guess they did their best to kind of set it up so that really the only place you can pinch yourself is here where the log's supposed to be, so you're not supposed to be there getting pinched. So anyway, free. I don't know about you guys, I'm a big fan of free. I assume this is where the fluid goes. I'm not quite sure about this whole affair. I'll have to do a little bit of research on it. Before I put more than the $8 I already have invested into it, I am going to give this a little sniff on the internet. Maybe they have something I could use. I get the idea that they put this little zigzag in here and so forth because there probably is a little bit of movement, especially when you're splitting wood, and they didn't want to quite ridge it. That's kind of why I like the idea of a pipe here. This here, you can see it's kind of chewed up a little bit, so I don't know if this is a standard size pipe. I don't know, 1/4 inch, 3/8, whatever that is. And they just put a little zigzag on it and put ferrules on. Oh, they even got it loose. Yeah, it looks like there's ferrets right on the inside of that. Ferrules, whatever those things are that you slide over the pipe. Anyway, I hope it's sealed. You know what? And they're two different sizes. This is a different size than that, right? You guys could see them side by side. Glad I'm taking a few moments to look at this, because it would have been very tempting to buy two this size. Looks like that's down a size. I don't know, is that loose? Yeah, it's loose. Yeah, you guys could kind of see the ferrules in there. I think they're called ferrules, right? So, anyway, I'm hoping this one's still good, and it's just a matter of getting a hose and hooking up the other one, throwing some hydraulic fluid into it and calling it a good day. But you know, sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're just not, so we'll see. Anybody who has any experience with these, I'd love to hear about it. My thoughts, or I think what my experience is going to be, is if you're trying to split something 4 inches, 5 inches, it's probably not too bad. If you're trying to put that 12-inch log on there, some nice stringy thing, locust or whatever, that you're going to be disappointed. So, like all this Harbor Freight China junk, depending on what you're using it for, you could be happy and successful, or you could be miserable. Once again, I think if you're trying to split, 12 inches of locust, it's not going to do it. I think if you're trying to do 6 inches of elm or something like that, something not so stringy, I think it'll do it pretty easily. Don't know. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, really want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Why don't you guys let me know what kind of free stuff you find, or maybe you can tell me you never find anything free. My area, it's kind of a disposable area. People work a lot, they commute to New York City, everybody has people that work a lot, but it just seems that if something doesn't work, they just throw it away and get a new one. And probably because whoever owned this, when it broke, what do they know about 3/8 inch fittings and so forth, right? They just said, well, it's broken, the heck with it, let me get rid of it. All right, I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and I want you all to get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.